Playing in drop D is awesome. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at which different scales we can use, what techniques we can employ, what chords are going to work, and also which different intervals we can throw into the mix. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's dive in. So what exactly is drop D tuning? Well, it's an alternate tuning. The low E string is brought down a whole step to become a D. It's a very popular tuning in grunge music and hard rock and heavy metal, and there's lots of drop D in country as well. So first off, let's take a look at what scales we can use. We're going to start with D minor pentatonic. In the third position, it looks like this. And then the fourth position looks like this. I'm probably not going to go all the way to the high E string though. So what we want to do is do something called a pedal tone. And this is going to be a huge deal for this entire lesson. We're going to use the low D string, and that's going to go between other notes, and it's called a pedal tone. It's an organ concept where you play like a lower note and then you go back to different notes back and forth. Pedal tone can be on top, middle, or the bottom. In this case, it's on the bottom. So if I go like this, and then like this, I'm using my low D string to toggle back and forth. And you can come up with different rhythmic patterns. The next note I'm going to grab is going to be this third fret of the D string. I can also grab the fifth fret of the D string as well and create this little box like this. Each time going back to the low D string, so toggling into that pedal tone. The same thing applies with our next position of the minor pentatonic scale like this. So there's an entire world right there that you can do to jam on drop D. Of course, you can take the scale the entire length of the guitar from east to west and expand on that. But that's the first scale we'll take a look at. We're going to do the blues scale as well. We'll come back to that later. The next scale we're going to take a look at is the minor scale. So we can do natural minor or harmonic minor, and they're different. So D natural minor. Let's go ahead and play this in the fifth position to keep things nice and simple for the lesson. And again, you can expand across the entire span of the guitar if you want to. Let's do this. Just one octave of D natural minor. So if I use the same concept with the pedal tone, I can do this. I reach down here for the same C note, but one position lower. And it's kind of almost the same as pentatonic, but not really. Now, harmonic minor is going to have a raised seventh. That sounds like this. Now that's a big deal because that's going to make the 5-chord dominant, and it sounds really cool with this drop D thing. It's a big part of a lot of different songs like Mr. Crowley's, which is not drop D, but the same idea. It's got this whole like neat sound when you play the harmonic minor sound. So this sounds like this with the pedal tone. Now, as you study music, you'll find that the harmony for these scales is different whenever you change that note. We'll use some chords from the natural minor and also the harmonic minor scale, and we'll see how those are employed. We're not going to touch the melodic minor scale for this lesson. Next up will be power chords. Now, a regular power chord on the guitar looks like this, but it's not going to sound right in drop D because that string has been lowered, so we're going to play the power chord with a straight line. It's only one finger, so you could literally be Captain Hook and play the guitar with drop D and do that for a career. So if I move that up and down the guitar neck, I can play power chords and it sounds really cool. Now I'm palm muting while I'm doing this. I've got my palm right here on the bridge and right next to the string there, like touching the string to get that thunk-a-dunk sound. So that's important to be able to palm mute. Make sure you get that sound together when you're doing this. So when I'm chugging the string, I can do eighth notes like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I can also do 16th notes. Metallica literally does that fast with all downs, which I think is insane. I can do what's called a T-Tippy, which is an eighth note tied to a 16th note. It sounds like this. It's a gallop. Or I can do a Tippy T, which is more like a metal sound. Dig it up. So you're going to get your chug hand strong. Your chug hand strong. Yeah. It takes time to get good at that, but this can also be part of this exercise when you're practicing your drop D stuff. Get your chugs together. So what I'm doing here are these power chords. So I'm going to outline that minor scale I talked about. I'm going to go like this. The first 5 notes are the same for natural minor, harmonic minor, or melodic minor. One string sounds like that, but if I play this as a power chord, it sounds like this. I can go like this. Now that sounds really cool. You're going to come across a lot of songs you recognize by doing this. And now I'm going to play these power chords and I'm going to infuse that with the scale as well. So that sounds kind of good. I'm playing power chords. Now these power chords can be expanded to a complete D form. I call this the big D, like this. You hear that a lot. Chug, chug, chug. I'm kind of playing all the way to the B string because these strings all work for drop D. If you play the high E string at the top, that's an add 9. That's a different sound. That's what I call the creed notes. Sounds like a little more like spatial, a little more open. So what I'm doing is I'm playing this D form of the caged system, but if I move this up like this, now I can play these power chords across multiple strings. So here's D. If I go up to the 2nd fret and bar, I can bar across all the way to the low D string now because it works better. The power chords, you can go the whole way. Here's an F, here's a G, here's an A B flat, a C, and a D. And again, I can kind of massage this and play harmonic minor or natural minor or pentatonic for that matter. That works as well. So again, you're going to find lots of songs that do these things, but that's a cool sound. Okay, now you can also play the same D form and chug your regular D string as well. And that sounds cool too, or the A string for that matter. I could do like a... I played the same forms, but I minimized them. If I chug the A string, the same thing would work. So that's another option as well. And if you infuse that into your drop D jam, that's probably pretty cool because then you're doing some different things. You're playing low, you're playing middle, you're playing high. So that's going to be playing these power chords. Of course, I can play the A power chord forms as well from the cage system, and I can follow either pentatonic or one of the minor scales and do that with a pedal tone on the low D string. That sounds kind of good too. And again, you can take all of these different concepts and use them all at the same time and mix and match. And as long as you keep the ball rolling and you keep that jam going and keep the time and rhythm together, all this stuff works synergistically. And it's a wellspring for new ideas. I can even do Phrygian if I wanted to, which is... So that's a different scale. Phrygian mode works well. Again, I'm keeping this simple, staying in one position with these are 1 or 2 positions to make things more easy to digest. And of course, you can spread this across the entire guitar as you go. Another super important technique to utilize with drop D is the pinch harmonic. So how do you do this? What you do is take your pick and you're going to pinch the string. I don't know if you can see that, very tip of the pick is showing. And I'm taking my pick, and I usually don't suggest this for good tone, but in this case, you angle it ever so slightly downward and you scrape the edge of the pick onto the string. And the way the harmonics work is as you move from the bridge into the middle, you get a fatter harmonic. So I can go. Same thing on the low D string as well. So why does this matter? Well, this is integral to the style of heavy metal. I call this a pwa. Now, there's lots of ways to play harmonics, and that's for a different lesson, but this is one really cool thing you can do very easily with drop D to give it a bit of a zip, pizzazz. Along with the power chords, we can play some triads as well. The D minor chord's great. The A minor form of the decade system, we're going to play C major next, power chord, or add the B string, the B flat chord, either the power chord or the full chord, and then the A chord. This is called the Andalusian cadence, so that's great for drop D. It's a million songs, literally. Sultans of Swing. I mean, so many songs. Unchained. Oh my goodness. It's just an endless amount of songs that do that. On the other direction, we're going to play D minor and play E diminished. Now, technically, this should be probably an F augmented, but let's make it F major for simplicity's sake. G minor, and then we'll do A major for now. So that sounds like this if I play this as part of the jam here. Again, all that stuff can be used intermittently, and you can mix and match things. I like to do a lot of articulation with these chords as well to give it more of a different sound. So I can go like... So you hear that a lot in songs where people are doing these little parts in between when the vocalist is singing, where they're going to articulate those parts. I'm using a pick at the moment. You can use your fingers as well. You can also add extensions to the chords as well, like a sus, for example, on D major would sound like this. C major. C. Sort of like Unchained from Van Halen does that. But that's actually tuned down to drop C sharp. But that's the idea. So lots of different things you can do with these triads. They sound great. Now, if I do triads in harmonic minor, we have a different animal. We're going to put diminished chords surrounding the D minor chord. That sounds pretty cool. So that the composers created the melodic minor scale to not do this. They wanted this. But it doesn't mean you can't do it because whatever. So we're going to play an A7 now instead of an A major chord. So that either this A7 like this, or you could do like this. Even up here is kind of cool too. So we're in drop D. So this lower string gets a little goofy when it comes to the drop D. So this will work for A7 like this. Or like this. So I can go like... play my C chord up here if I want to. So this is D minor to B to C to B flat to A. What if I did it up here instead? Now I'll make my A into an A7. So all that's on the table too. So you see how these chords are working with this? And if you can combine that with your power chords, you'd have something like this. So back to the single strings again. I played a little harmonic there across the 5th fret just for a little effect. If I had a whammy bar on this guitar, I would have done that, but of course there's no whammy bar. All these ingredients are working really well together to create a jam. Let's take a look at the open strings. If you play the minor scale, we're doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. It sounds amazing, especially if you combine the strings together and then you throw some pedal tones in. You can come up with some pretty cool riffs. Next up, we're going to take a look at intervals. We could do thirds, fourths, fifths, or octaves, probably even sixths as well. This is a big deal. It sounds great. So let's follow the scale and do some thirds. Here we go. That sounds great, right? So if we go... Sounds amazing. Now, what if we throw some fourths in, like this? Or some perfect fifths. Octaves are especially great. Any J.D. Strum fans, you'll recognize this for the end of the drag. Now that was my part at the end of a tune called The Drag from a band I was a co-author, co-writer, co-member of J.D. Strum, and that's my part, and I used octaves for that. That tune's a great example of drop D. It utilizes a lot of the different chords I was talking about. Many songs that I've written and have done do these some of these elements. Another thing to talk about is the blues scale. So if we play our pentatonic scale, sometimes you want to throw in the blue note as well. That sounds like this. And here would be like this. It's a very Dimebag, Daryl sounding, or very much like Killing in the Name of. One line goes like, and plays through the, much like another really important sound for drop D is the blues scale. We're going to throw the blue note into the pentatonic scale. It sounds like this. Or in this position, it'd be like this. Or on the power chords, we might get like something like this. So it kind of sounds Dimebag Daryl-like, right? We can also follow an arpeggio and do like a diminished power chord thing. So a lot of bands like System of a Down will do something like that. The entire riff will be nothing but like a linear scale, harmonic minor or something diminished. Arpeggios are also huge. So if I do something like this for a diminished arpeggio, up here, along with the drop D sound, it sounds like this. A lot of times I'll just play the little interval of a tritone as well. So we're talking about intervals here. The tritone is big too. And that surrounds your D minor chord. There I did another concept. I played something chromatic. It's not really a scale, but Metallica does this all the time. I just went, that sounds cool. Not really like necessarily musical on a scale, but it sounds really cool for drop D. So what I was doing there was playing the thirds, but grabbing the octave at the top. So I had mentioned the creed note. Like the creed note is this high E string note when you add the add 9 at the top like this. So the idea is to take all of these different elements to create your own riffs. I'll go through these again. So we have the pentatonic scale first. The blues scale. Natural minor scale. Harmonic minor scale. I even looked at the Phrygian scale. So you can learn these scales across the entire guitar neck and also on one string from east to west. For example, here's the minor scale. Natural minor scale up and down. We also talked about playing the pedal tone, which I'm doing right now. It's kind of omnipresent for this entire thing, is doing this pedal tone. A power chord on 2 strings. And that's with a palm mute and a chug. With 8th notes, we have 16th notes. And as I mentioned, Metallica does those with downs, which I think is pretty crazy. I think I could do it when I'm hyper warmed up. We have the Tippy. The Tippy T. The pinch harmonic. There's lots of ways to play harmonics, and stay tuned to the channel. I'll show you some more. Another cool thing to do with drop D is to do this. Or like chop suey. Or all that stuff sounds pretty cool. Now we can take a look at the chords. We have D minor, C, B flat, A, or A7, the other direction played diminished here. For simplicity's sake, F major here, G minor, A major, or dominant 7, we can do D minor here also. B, C, B flat, A, or A7. The power chords, we can do the extensions to the full D form. And those all sound cool, so those are all chords you can use. Now there's many more chords you can use too, but I'm just trying to give you a template to jam with. For intervals, we have the thirds. Or the thirds with the octave attached. Fourths. kind of sounds cool, very much like Man on the Silver Mountain kind of thing. We have fifths. We have octaves. The big D at the end. So we're going to combine all that together to create a really cool jam. So as I had mentioned, there's tons of genres that use this sound. We have grunge, hard rock, metal, country. I'll do country drop D for a different lesson. I want you to take all these concepts and be creative and come up with your own thing. See what you can do. Listen for other tunes that use drop D, and you can learn from those as well and infuse that into your thing. If you come up with something cool, throw it in the comment section of the video. I'd love to watch what you come up with. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson. Hopefully it was fun for you. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Plenty of lessons on their way, and I'll catch you next time.